When a girl is deciding whether to see you once you get a phone number, she's basically deciding what the potential outcome of that number will be. Like if she goes and sees you, what will it be like? And if you haven't been man to woman, then the potential upside for her is much less than if you have, right? Ironically, the downside is also less, right? It's also less risky, right? Less risk of it being awkward or weird or whatever, but the upside's much less. And what you have to understand is when you're calling her up trying to make a date later, assuming you get the number, first of all, you might not get the number because it's not enough of it, not enough incentive. But even if you do get the number, when she's deciding to meet you up later, she's comparing you to other alternatives. So if you're in the category of friends and she has another female friend she's known for years, the potential upside of that is as big or bigger, definitely. Without any potential downside, she's gonna go with her female friend she's known for years, right? Or she has some guy she's kind of sort of dating, kind of sort of seeing and like trusts and she knows him from work. Potential upside's higher than you, potential downside's less than you, gonna go with him. Whereas if you've been man to woman and done a good job, now you have more upside than either of those, right? You still have the downside, you have to worry about that, right? But at least you have a chance in competition with those. So when you get these friendly numbers, number one, you're oftentimes not gonna get a number. Oftentimes they're gonna reject you. But when you do get a number, there's not gonna be enough incentive behind it to get you to come out and you're just gonna get flaky, flaky, flaky. Now, if it turned out that you called her up and she had nothing to do that day, no other plans, you're better than zero, right? That's why she's giving you a number because like there is a possibility under some circumstance where she's bored, she'd see you. But you don't want that. You don't wanna get the great girl that's just like, if she's bored, she'll see me. You want the girl that's motivated to see you. If you haven't been man to woman, she's not gonna be that motivation factor. So that's why you have to be man to woman, basically, right? Even though, again, if you got her on the date friend to friend, it actually would be okay if you knew how to correct it later. It's gonna hurt your ability to get her on the date. Take this idea to a different context, right? So this is about a man to woman interaction. Imagine like a purchasing interaction, like a salesperson interaction, okay? Imagine you were just like, on the street and you started talking to some guy and you didn't know he was a car salesman and he never brought up cars. I never whatever. And then he's like, hey, so do you want to sign a contract for this car I have? You're like, wait, what? It just came out of nowhere. It doesn't make sense. It's foreign to the conversation you were having. Okay? Yeah. That's kind of what you did here. And like, she sees you as a cool guy, sees you as high value, doesn't mind interacting with you. It's all positive, but it's just not in that context. At a certain point, it becomes obvious. It becomes clear because either she's participating in the premise with you, right? If you say, what are we going to do with you? She's like, I don't know. What are we going to do with me? You've got premise, right? Or if you say like, we wouldn't get along, she goes, no, why wouldn't we get along? Everybody gets along with me. And she's justifying herself and participating in that discussion or premise, that that's been established, right? Or if you've just done a lot of them. If you've just done it to a point where it's like, okay, I've made it extremely clear and she hasn't left, she must know by now. So there is a point where that's the case. That point is, I don't know, depends how strong your primacy lines are, what they are, maybe something like between 3 and 7 primacy things you've said. It should be pretty clear that that's the case. Does that make sense? I mean, it depends. Because if you go in and your first primacy thing she agrees with, I go, hey, you're cute, I want to meet you. She's like, oh, you're cute too. Premise established. You're trying to create the frame around the interaction. This is what the interaction's about. If she seems to have understood and or agreed to that, mission accomplished, you can go on to the next thing. If she doesn't seem to have understood, she seems to have missed it, it hasn't been conveyed clearly enough, you still have more to do. Makes sense? So it's a bit dependent on her. But, in general, if you've conveyed it abundantly and she's not incredibly oblivious, she's gonna get the message.